All right, so Ms. Sims, what's going on behalf of the property?
Your Honor, the monthly rent is $18.20 and the rent is past due for October through February. And that total amount prorated through today is $6,430.36. That's rent only, not any other amount. A notice to vacate was posted on the inside dwelling door on October 6th. It was a 30-day notice and it includes, we submitted the exhibits to the court previous to today and included the proof of delivery. It was also posted by the manager who's on the Zoom with me. And so there was a prior default prior to that time period, and then the notice to vacate was issued. We're seeking the past due rent, cost of court, attorney's fees in the amount of $650, Your Honor, and we're asking for possession. And in this case, we prepared for an attended trial, but there was a reset due to the late service in the case. We're not seeking attorney's fees related to both settings, but I wanted to make that clear to the court.
Okay, so there was a little delay in service of the petition to the defendant, but now that time has expired and we can go forward after it was returned. Yeah, 'cause it looks like it was initially not served timely. And so it was served on what is that, the 4th of February? Okay. So, Mr. Avila, they're saying you haven't paid rent or they haven't accepted rent since October. Have you made some payments that they haven't taken into account?
Yes, sir. October was paid for. If you can look in the ledger, it's dated and time stamped for October. That's where I want to say that I did pay for. November through the next following months, it is true that I haven't paid for those yet.
Okay, I'm looking at what is listed as the ledger. Let's see.
I can bring it up to you, the page number, if I can.
Yes, right. I see that. So he's responsible for part of it, and part of it is subsidized, Miss Sims?
Yes, Your Honor. His portion is $1,385, and the agency that pays his another portion is $435. The rent only amount that I provided to the court is only based on his portion, not based on any government portion.
So the 1385 is what you're saying is what he is responsible for.
Yes, sir.
And I'm trying to see the ledger. When was the last payment that was made according to your records?
This hearing reveals how complicated eviction cases can become. The tenant argues that accounting mistakes and payment discrepancies caused the debt to snowball, while the property manager says they tried to work out a payment plan before filing for eviction. The judge isn't just deciding who struggled financially, he's determining whether the legal requirements for eviction were properly followed despite the confusion over the rent balance.
Miss Sims or Miss
By him or by anyone, Your Honor, because it
looks like October there was a payment made. However, that didn't cover the rent for October. There was actually a past due amount, it looks like. But here, help me clarify that.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. So the payment that I believe he's talking about, where he paid on October 1st, there was a prior balance already. And so the prior month hadn't been paid. And therefore, of course, when that amount, when the payment, it looks like the payments were posted, but they were going to prior amounts. And of course, Michelle can probably explain better, but the ledger does make that clear. There was a prior balance already.
Yeah, so I do see that there was a payment made. Let's see here. No,
there's several smaller payments.
October 31st was the payment that he made. Right, on the ledger. Is that right, Miss Guerrero?
Yes, there is a payment for October 31st.
But the problem is that payment went to, I guess, September, because at the end of September, there was a balance of $1,480 due after his last payment on September 25th.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so if I have back to July that these partial payments were charged to me, and an amount of $523, and it was a inconsistency in my payments for 2-3 months, and that's what had me set back to paying the October month on the 31st instead of in the beginning of the month.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to page 12 of the ledger, it starts with a partial payment, but what I understood, there's y'all don't these they don't accept the partial payment, so there was a discrepancy of what I was charged for like 3-4 months, sir. So which snowballed effect to now. This is what.
So did you have to go in and recertify or update your income, and they changed your payment amount, or what?
Well, they took the payment. They said it was okay for the month, and then they realized I had to go back in to pay the extra more amount, so it set me back 2-3 months, and then I did pay October, which was the 31st. I did pay September, which they added what they found out the discrepancy, so they added me another $1,400 by the end of the month. So how would I be able to recuperate within a month's time? So it's just snowball effect. Understood it was the management was going through a time where there was no management, so no one was overseeing these issues. So it was just all clerical and lower workers, I would say, or recipients who were taking the money. And if you can look at each of the names of the users.
So was there did
Yes,
his
sir.
subsidy change, Miss Guerrero?
So this is, I guess this was before I got here. So in his portion of the rent, it was a system error, right? So they were only charging him the 523 opposed to the 1385 he was responsible for. So when the person that takes care of the accounting went in there and fixed the first error, he made his payment and paid it off. In September, we discovered that because his mom was on the case and she was like still in the system, so they split up some of the portion like on her part of the account and then put the rest on his. So when he would go in there to make his payment, it would only show that he owed 523. When those corrections were made in September, I discussed it with him and I told him, look, because obviously it was an error in the system. I don't know how it got there. We're going to work with you. So you need to like make your normal rent payment, but then you're going to come in and give me a portion of the past due balance, right? So
Right.
then I was working with him, but unfortunately he still hadn't paid November, December, I believe, and January and February.
Because I mean, I'm looking at the ledger, and I mean, I'm not trying to disparage you at all. I'm just saying, last time there was a zero balance on the account was back in December of 2024, right? So you've been kind of behind the 8 ball for a while.
Yes, sir.
And
But
you've been making payments, but you've been making payments late, and I guess there are minimal late fees in there. But I mean, when you got the notice to vacate and you saw that this was your balance, you dispute the balance, but I mean, it's still significant, right?
yes, sir.
Are you planning on moving out? Or are you planning on appealing the judgment? What's your, I mean,
I want to pay off what I owe for the months that I didn't pay. And I'll plan to move out of here.
well, eventually you'll have to pay it, or it's going to be on your, I guess, on your credit or something. But if you don't have the
Yes,
money, you don't have the money. But I
right.
mean, the thing was, I guess Miss Guerrero said she was willing to work with you and slowly make payments into the balance that was owed because of the clerical error that was made. But that was back, going back to quite some time.
So like for May, for the beginning of 2025, the payments were like 1,200, and then they shot up after the discrepancy to like 1,400. And then so I continued paying it. Yeah, there were late fees added to it. And yes, but I was willing to work with paying those discrepancies. And so we made a deal, and then so the October is paid for. November is where I'm saying where I didn't pay. I tried to pay it on November. I had the full amount, but those last few days that I did, it forced me to end up having to scrounge up money to for the last minute on November. And then when the time I had the money, um, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th were closed. And the only time they were open was on the 29th. It was out on a Saturday, and there was no management to be found. I couldn't get a hold of them. I couldn't get a hold of the corporate office. There was no one that was able to help me. I had my money ready to go. The 31st or the 30th on Sunday, they were closed. I was stuck rolling over the November month pay to the December, which forced me to pay two more months rent. And then so that was discussed with her. And then we had an agreement that I can pay those 2 months in December on a certain day, which I did. We both agreed it was going to be um, it would be she told me Wednesday, November 31st. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, I believe it was December. I'm gonna look it up in the calendar. It was December 31st that we agreed to meet on that day, and then the day I went in, the day the whole office was closed. So I couldn't. I forced me to have to pay 2 months of rent, November and December.
But you didn't pay him.
No, I couldn't pay it because November it was closed. The day was closed. I couldn't. No one was able to pay to do the manageable part on the November rent. So we agreed to go pay the two rents for November and December, but on the 31st of December to come in. I talked to her like the 30th or the 29th, and she told me to come in the 31st at 4 o'clock. That's before they close. And I come around 3:35, 4 o'clock, and the whole office was closed for the December.
Well,
So
I'm looking
twice
at. Yeah, Josh, I'm sorry that they were not open. And there's not a drop box.
Yes,
It's
sir.
kind of a security issue nowadays when people breaking into block boxes, and so it's usually don't want the rent to get lost. It works out in your favor because normally I would go to the last payment that you made outside of the subsidy that you get and see what the balance was after you made your last payment in October 31st. And I mean, that's 1480 is your balance on the ledger. But she's saying, hey, I just want October, November, December, and January and February. And to me, that's looking at the ledger, that supports what she's asking for. And I mean, it works out actually in your favor that I grant her the amount she's asking for. The is it 6430 you said, Miss?
Yes, sir.
Because otherwise I've actually calculated a higher amount based on the amount that would have been due
Okay.
rated through today. Now, if you think the ledger is wrong, I mean, so you're responsible for $13.85 a month, and the subsidy is $435. So your total rent is $18.20, but you're only paying the $13.85 in rent. But I know there's probably other items in there. The notice to vacate back in October that you got, that applies through today, and I guess they waited more than 30 days to file this case because they didn't file this case till January. To me, indicates an attempt that they were trying to work with you, but there's just been a lack of communication or miscommunication between the parties. And so I don't know when your lease is up. It looks like looking at it, it ends 9/30/2026. But I mean, you've got from here 5 days to appeal this judgment, because at 5 months later, they haven't gotten any rent. They're looking at a pretty deep hole, and you are too. So you owe the amount. This gives them possession of the property. You need to talk to the property and see how you can make payment arrangements. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. Whatever money you do have, you probably need to get to find a new place to live for you and your family. But that's what and so there's attorney's fees also that they're asking for, Diana, for the $650, and that was for this setting, not the prior setting. Just you'll add that. I'm going to send a copy of the judgment to you, to both parties. And Mr. Ali, you have 5 days to appeal or be out of the property. If you're in the process of moving out, but you just need a little bit more time, talk to the property to see if they hold off on getting rid of possession, or you can appeal the judgment.
If I was say if I could just at least like 2 weeks, I can probably work something out with them and
talk to the property. It's up to them. It's their call. Like I said, I don't run their business, but every day you're there and you're not paying rent, they're losing money, right?
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, this is a human issue. You probably need to find a new place to live, and we'll see. You can appeal this judgment if you feel like that's would be the best way for you to proceed if you need more time. But I mean, you've been on notice for a while, the delinquency, but hopefully y'all can work something out. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. The whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you, God.
I do.
Okay. All right. So if you didn't appear today, Miss Douglas, they were going to ask for immediate possession, a bond that they filed to get immediate possession. But I don't know if they're going to win the case or not today or not, but they can't get immediate possession. Even if they win, you would still have the time period to appeal if that's what you so choose. But that's why it's good for you to show up to court. But Mr. Cahan, I want you to tell me on behalf of your client, Mr. Fulton, why you're asking for possession of this property from Miss Douglas.
Certainly. This is a non-payment of rent case. The monthly rent is $2,250. We're seeking back to a portion of December, prorated through today, a total of $4,625.28 in rent only. In this matter, a 30-day notice to vacate was delivered by mail with tracking on December 26th. There had been a previous notice that my office sent back in October as well, and we're seeking $900 in attorney fees.
Okay, so I said a portion in December. What's due in December in rent?
I have a balance of $928.86.
86 cents?
That's correct.
And then the full month of the $2,250 for January, and then you prorated February's rent through today?
That's correct.
That's how you came up with the $4,625.28.
Correct.
Right. And you sent that notice to vacate in December?
Yes, delivered, tracking shows delivery December 26th.
Oh, delivered 26. Okay. Miss Douglas, did you get that notice to vacate?
Yes, I did. Yep.
So did you choose not to vacate, or have you
I
moved out?
don't have a choice right now. I don't have a job. So, I mean, I just got awarded a job, or I just got hired, but I haven't gotten an offer letter yet. And so I don't have any income. There's no way we could leave. I mean, we could leave, but we are not gonna find any place. I have
Who's
two
we?
kids
Oh,
and
you
my
said
husband.
you're the tenant on here, right?
Yeah. My husband, me and him are splitting up, and then he moved back in with us when I lost my job. The very first month we moved in, I lost my job.
Man,
And
okay.
that's why October was late, and then we pulled it together, and then we got the next month okay, but then December we were running late. He took my husband's payment of the amount that he paid for December, or the portion, but then he immediately texted back and was like, we don't want any more, basically, because you're to leave the property, we're evicting you. And so yeah, so we didn't pay, and then I tried to pay him some later, and it's blocked me from his Cash App, so I can't pay anything.
So, do you disagree with the amounts that Mr. Cahan listed as far as what's past due for rent?
I agree with that. I agree with his amounts. I
Well, I
I
mean,
was trying to pay.
and so since this sometimes a lot of landlords or property owners, they don't want to take the rent because they don't want to muddy the water.
This second case is much more emotional. The tenant doesn't dispute the amount owed. She simply says she lost her job and couldn't keep up with rent while caring for her children. Even though the judge sympathizes with her situation, eviction court focuses on whether rent was paid and whether the required notices were given. Personal hardship can explain the circumstances, but it doesn't always change the legal outcome.
They want to say, hey, this is what you owe, this is what I want. If you can't pay the full amount, I want you to move out and use those monies that you have to go find a new place to live. If you, I mean, whatever you got to survive on, whether for food, for utilities, whatever that may be. But at this point, because they have given you a proper notice to vacate, you haven't moved out. I mean, I don't see that. You seem to agree that
I
you
agree.
haven't
I
paid
just
the
I don't
rent.
have the money. I don't have the money right now until I get my first paycheck to do anything.
Okay.
I just got my last unemployment check, and so I can't. Yeah, and I got the 2 kids, so I just haven't been able to find. We don't have really a choice right now. I mean, we're staying as long as we can until we don't have any family here, so it's just kind of like we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do right now. But I mean, we're gonna do the best we can. I was gonna, we were hoping. We asked him several times if we could just pay him. My husband gets paid every week, and we're gonna give him every single penny he had, and when it would be enough. But we wouldn't have food or anything like that. But he didn't want that.
Well, I'm sorry y'all are struggling. However, it's not the
Yeah, no, it's
Mr.
not. Yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just how it goes.
And so I'm going to
Yeah.
award them possession of the property.
Okay.
The rent that's due through today, which is rent only, it's not utilities, it's not late fees, it's not
Okay.
other charges, but the rent through today is $4,625.28. They're also asking for attorney's fees because they had to file this case because they gave you the notice to vacate. You didn't move out. And so Mr. Fulton hired Mr. Cahan to represent him, and I'm sure Mr. Cahan's charging him to represent him here in court and through the legal process. So I'm going to award the $900 he's asking for. And so you have 5 days to appeal this judgment. So
But they
until
can come
next,
sooner, right? They can come sooner with the writ of possession.
no, they can't because you appeared today. So
Okay.
you have 5 days to appeal. And so if you don't appeal by Tuesday, on Wednesday is the first day they can come to court and get that writ of possession. If they do have to do that, what the constables will do is go post a notice on your door saying after 24 hours, we'll be here. We they may be here the next day, the day after that, but they're going to coordinate with Mr. Fulton. So Mr. Fulton can have a crew of folks to take everything out to the sidewalk if in fact y'all are still there and haven't moved your things.
No, we got storage units and stuff set up, but yeah.
Okay. But that's where we're at. This is the least favorite part of my job, and it's a contract law. I'm sure you understand, although
I understand.
It is hard.
Yeah, I'm not mad at anybody. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any questions?
No, thank you. You answered them.
Okay. All right. So then, is that the only case you have, Mr. Cahan, today?
It is, yes.
Okay. Then y'all are both, all three, Ms. Fulton, Ms. Douglas, Mr. Cahan, y'all are excused. In the meantime, while she has her time to appeal, don't interfere with her enjoyment or process of moving out. Once you moved out, Ms. Douglas, let Mr. Fulton know, or he may have to, get that writ of possession. Or do you want her to reach out to you, Mr. Cahan?
It's best if can reach to me directly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Ms. True, on behalf of the property, what you're asking for and why.
Yes, Your Honor. This is based on conduct breaches of the lease. As mentioned previously, the defendant violated specifically paragraph 11 of the lease by discharging a firearm at the community, as well as paragraphs 11.1a, b, and c for engaging in violence, behaving in a loud or dangerous manner, and disturbing or threatening the rights of others at the property. We have 3 separate main incidents. I submitted affidavits for all 3 of them. Back in September of 2025, he was charged with a abusive calls to 911, a Class B misdemeanor. Essentially, he called 911 for shots fired at the property, and then he was just being very aggressively harassing with the 911 operator. And then they ended up coming to the property, and they found out that he had a history of making false 911 calls and calling 911 to the property. And then on January 2nd of this year, 2026, he was also arrested for a criminal trespass, where he was very aggressive with the employees at the establishment that he was arrested at for the trespass. And then on January 12th, 2026, this year, which was right before we delivered the notice to vacate, he was charged with a 3rd-degree felony for discharging a firearm at the unit. Essentially, the police received a phone call that there were shots fired that were coming from the defendant's apartment. They show up at the property, and he was shooting off of his patio balcony towards trailers and homes that were east of the unit, within range of the gunshots. They found shell casings on the ground, and the defendant told them that it was his right to shoot firearms. So he was arrested for this. Based on that, we delivered a notice to vacate on January 13th. However, he is still in possession. So we are requesting possession of the unit, court costs, and attorney's fees of $1,600, Your Honor.
The attorney's fees of $1,600?
Yes. Corey Rogers, my senior attorney, he bills at $400 an hour. He did initial work on this case in researching the criminal history and reviewing all of the attached warrants for the defendant, as well as discussing the case with the property, talking about the notice to vacate. And then he was the one who actually drafted and filed all of the documents in this case, and then corresponded with the property as the case kind of proceeded. We received a hearing notice, and then I reviewed the file for this case and prepared exhibits and prepared for the hearing today, and I bill at $260 an hour.
Well, it sounds like Mr. Ross has some mental health issues.
He does, Your Honor.
And so I don't know if he's taking medication, if he poses a danger to yourself or others on the property, if he's getting treatment right now. That's scary.
Very scary.
I do see the notice to vacate January 13th. It was a 1-day notice to vacate. How'd you deliver that?
It was mailed, Your Honor.
And he's also a veteran?
Correct, that's correct, Your Honor. He has a VA case manager. He has a VA case manager that he's working with, and he's aware of the situation. Mr. Ross has numerous guns in his apartment, so he does cause a danger to his neighbors, to the community, and to the staff.
As far as this eviction, I'm going to grant for conduct, of course, for dangerous conduct. But is there anything else y'all ask for besides the attorney's fees,
No,
possession,
Your Honor.
court costs? Okay.
That was all.
Okay. So then, no past due rent is being
No.
a
He's full
Rent
out.
is paid.
Okay. So then we'll grant possession of the property, the possession, court costs, and then attorney's fees of $1,600 to Amtech's McKinney Fund versus
Right.
Ross. It's $1,600 in attorney fees. I'm sorry? What's the monthly rent that he has if he wants to appeal?
The monthly rent is $1,245.
All right. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs, but do take care of yourselves also and your residents with love.
Yes,
All right.
sir. Do you her office locked up because he's come to the office numerous times being aggressive. So we had to lock our doors to
Mhm.
avoid contact with him.
Okay. All right. Well, call 911.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you. All right. Likewise. Bye-bye.
This is for non-payment of rent. The monthly rent is $17.36. We're seeking back due rent from December, January, and permanent February. There was a couple partial payments that were made in December of 2025 that covered November's rent. Which is why we're only seeking December through today. The 3-day notice was posted on the inside of the door on December 23rd. And to our knowledge, the defendants are still in possession, so we are seeking possession as well as back due rent prior through today for a total of $4,588, as well as court costs and attorney's fees of $700.
Okay. And so I'm looking at the notice to vacate, which is dated December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Mr. Cross, Miss Cross, did you deliver that notice to vacate?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
How did you get it to them?
Inside the door?
Okay. And so after that, did they come to the office to talk to you about their past due rent?
No one came to the office. The reason why for December, we're kind of being lenient, giving people a chance to catch up during that month, but we still haven't received any payments whatsoever.
Well, it looks like December 1st, there was $2,445 made in payments, right?
For November's rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's the last payment that y'all received.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mendieta or Ms. Martinez, have you made any payments that the apartments have accepted since, I guess, early December?
No, we have not.
Are you still living in the property?
Yes.
So when you got the notice to vacate, was that, did y'all not get that notice to vacate?
We did.
Okay. So y'all just kind of holding out until the constables come, or what's your side of the story?
No, January, did you go or call? And in January, he did go and, well, I don't know if he called or he went to go talk to them about the rent, if they can like hold on. But he hasn't had any work. His work has gone down. So we've been trying to figure out how to like make up for the payments, the last rents, but it's been hard. Sorry.
No, I mean it's you have John, Jaslyn, and Manuel living there as well. Is that your
Yes.
kids?
Yes.
You know, and so yeah, this is not a fun act at all. I mean, the thing is, if you can't pay the rent, you can't stay.
Oh yeah,
And
yes.
not really Miss Cross or Mr. Fuentes' call, but probably their superiors that they have to do their job.
No,
And
yes.
the attorney, they had to hire the attorney because y'all didn't move out. I think you're sincere about trying to make the payments, but if you don't have the money, then you can't pay, then you can't stay. And so I'm going to grant them possession of the property because they have to come to court to get possession. They can't just go in there and kick you out, but they're getting a court order today. And what they have testified to is that December, January, and February haven't been paid. He did make a payment in December, but that went towards
Yes, that
November.
was right. Yes.
So 4,588 is the prorated amount through today based on the 1736 a month. That's what I see is in the lease. The attorney is asking for attorney's fees of $700, which would encompass today's hearing as well as the activities report that they submitted in Exhibit 3. So from here, you have 5 days to appeal this judgment or be out of the property. Once you're out, if you do move out, if you're not appealing, turn in your keys, let them know you're out in writing, so that way you don't have to get rid of possession. But do you have any questions, Mr. Mendieta, or?
I'm okay. That's fine.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, any questions?
No.
Y'all have anything to add, Mr. Fuentes or Ms. Ross? Cross, sorry. All right, then y'all are excused. We'll send a copy of the judgment to your address. And if we have your email, we'll send it to your email. Thank you very much.
Across these hearings, one message becomes clear. Eviction court is about enforcing lease agreements, not deciding who deserves sympathy. Some tenants faced financial hardship, while others struggled with communication or payment issues, but the judge consistently focused on the lease terms, unpaid rent, and legal procedures. It's a reminder that once rent falls behind for too long, both tenants and landlords can find themselves facing difficult consequences. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real courtroom cases and legal analysis.